Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Thursday, December the 6th, and this is the market overview. Looking at the Dow, SPX, VIX, TNA, UUP, FXE, GLD, SLV, and all of the rest. Okay, so originally last night I was thinking that today was going to be a slight down day, as of last night's video. And today, yep, it wasn't right this time. This time the Bulls actually did pull it out, which was pretty surprising and actually kind of nice. But all kinds of things to look at tonight. Yeah, I was expecting just a little bit under the descending channel and then a pop above, but instead they wanted to go for the gusto. They did pop above. Yeah, for a short period of time, it did look like it was going to be what I thought it was going to be, but the Bulls came back into the day and just took control, took the bull by the horns, I suppose. Anyways, the Dow getting now back inside the descending channel, which is a really good sign. It has to prove that it wants to stay there, but overall, this is a nice move. It's barely inside the long-term moving average bar. So it would appear that they're going to attempt to really break this sideways motion, and that's good. We had the 14-day RSI moving average still in ascent. We didn't know if we were going to get a real secondary corrective move or not, and it would appear that, at least at the moment, that we're not. Everything moving back up, everything. So we have really good alignment. We got through resistance. All very nice. All very nice. Reclaiming the 1300 or the 13K level, or at least maintaining it from yesterday. So all good signs. The daily does not look bad. And, you know, maybe this is where it's going to really be happy. But this is a really good first indication. Would have been better if we had a new recent high like we did yesterday, but just fell a little bit short. So is tomorrow important? Yes. Which side is it favoring? Well, it's actually favoring the Bulls at the moment. But if the Bears can push them outside of the descending channel, be a really bad sign. So yeah, tomorrow is very important. 60-minute time frame. Yeah, we can see that last night we were closing right at the lower trend line, and today just able to bounce right off of it. Really, really nice. Everything for the most part innocent in the 60-minute time frame as well, with room to move. So the 60-minute also looks pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Just needs a few points to clear the recent high, and should be really good sign. Moving on to SPX, I'm just going to go fast. And more of the same, not to the same extent as the Dow. I mean, it barely poked its head above the lower trend line. Just not as dramatic. Not as positive. Certainly, it still has the current high to beat, and we have to see if it can do that. This one looks a little worse than the Dow. The fast stochastic is still pointing down. We have a downtick on the MACD histogram. Everything else is the same. So this one is a little more iffy than the Dow. The Dow doing very well today. Tomorrow is massively, massively important. And of course, we have no news on the fiscal cliff, so really, most of the day it was pretty darn boring. Pretty darn boring. Going on to the VIX. Alright. Here we can see that something is not really right. I mean, yeah, it's a spinning top indecision. It is slightly red on the day, but it is a higher close than yesterday. That doesn't jive well with the market as a whole. Beyond that, we are still in a small bottoming area. I don't think we had anything on the Dow for a topping. Let me just make absolutely sure. No, just a precursor. So, anyways, still a bottoming area in the VIX. We have the stochastic still moving up. We still have the MACD going for a bullish cross. We have the MACD histogram ticking up, down on the CCI and the RSI and the 14-day RSI moving average. And yeah, the 14-day RSI moving average is getting kind of low in the grand scheme of things. Still has a little more room that it can move, but overall, this is not overly encouraging for the medium term for the bulls, in my opinion. So iffy on the daily, where it should be clearly negative for the Dow and SPX to have clear, smooth, easy sailing. We did hit the 200-day moving average yesterday. We knew that it would be a problem, and it's not like it's just falling away at breakneck speed. So this just gives me a little bit of pause. Moving on to TNA, small caps. This one has been doing extremely well. It definitely has been leading the overall market. We've been talking about the descending channel. I don't know why it has cut off, but the positioning is still correct. And we kept hitting it. We did not hit it today. It is a green spinning top. We did not attempt a new recent high, which would be much clearer if it did. Instead, it hit the upper price consensus level, backed away slightly, and we have the MACD histogram trending down. We have the stochastics going down. We have the CCI going down, but we're working off a topping area through time. So while the positioning is very nice in that it's above, its positioning inside of this little range thing is not great, and we have some concerns with the secondaries. This is actually worse than SPX, even though it didn't go down and hit the lower trend line. So something else that gives me pause. And moving on to UUP, the dollar. Yeah, this doesn't jive either now, does it? UUP, big up. We got an uptick today, finally, and it resolved itself intraday. We want to see what it wants to do next, but it is free to fall further at this moment if it wants to. 14-day RSI moving average would seem to indicate that we will have more to the downside. We have worked off a bottoming area in the heat map for the most part. CCI, stochastics, RSI, histogram, and MACD all moving up. So very iffy. It looks like a secondary reset underway. Today was very strong. The market should not be doing too well with the dollar going up. So this is in contradiction with what happened in the overall market. Something is wrong. Going on to GLD. GLD has been just beat up, bad. Had the hammer hanging man last night. Said maybe this was a place where it could turn. We said that there was a good blip in the heat map, and we did get a bullish engulfing of the real body of yesterday's candle, but we still do not have an uptick on gold. Nope, we don't have it. So can we say that this is going to run up, fill this gap, actually a double gap? Can't say that for sure at this moment. It did fill a little bit of it, but slight uptick on the 14-day RSI moving average. Everything seems to be pretty low, with the exception of the MACD itself and the MACD histogram, but going up on the RSI, going up on the CCI, going up on the fast stochastic. So the daily on this, yeah, it doesn't look bad. Maybe we can get an uptick tomorrow, in which case it's going to take it somewhere in the area of 166. But yeah, there's not enough here. Not enough here. And this is weird too, because gold should be going down when the dollar is going up. The dollar had a good move up today, and gold had a decent move up today. It does not fit just right. So not really convinced by that. Going on to SLV, silver. Silver had a decent move today as well, with the dollar going up. This doesn't really make sense. Still going up on the 14-day RSI moving average, and still going down for the most part in everything else. MACD histogram ticking down, MACD getting a bearish cross, needs to separate. going down on the stochastics, but it is going up. Got a blip on the CCI, the RSI, and it's completely neutral in the histogram. So I'm just assuming that this is hitting a level that maybe it's just the long-term moving average bar, but it just does not jive with the dollar. And that's the only reason why I don't really care for the way that this looks today. CompQ, the NASDAQ. Yeah, not bad. Really nice hanging man in a position that doesn't really matter. Still holding above the 200-day moving average. 14-day RSI moving average still in descent. Stochastic slowly declining. CCI going sideways. RSI going up. MACD histogram going down. MACD going up. Very iffy, but if I had to pick, I'll just say more positive than negative, simply because of the 200-day here, almost through the long-term moving average bar. And look at all of that buying as it dipped. So more positive than negative, but not exactly the greatest chart in the world. This could turn very, very fast. So iffy. Excuse me. Moving on to Apple. We said yesterday in the daily running thread the train wreck should be coming to an end, and it did have a really nice day. It looked ugly there for a little bit. It was bought really aggressively throughout the whole day. And we have an uptick on the fast stochastic. 14-day RSI moving average still in ascent. Still in the bottoming area in the heat map. Everything's getting pretty darn low. The CCI, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. The CCI is getting pretty low. The RSI is bouncing up at the 50 neutral point. Still going down on the MACD histogram. Still going down on the MACD. But very nice. It does have a higher low at the moment. If it's unable to retest this bottom, then this will probably go up pretty darn fast. News permitting, of course. Everything is news permitting. And here we are with GE. Excellent, excellent, excellent. The Dow was red yesterday. GE was green. We said that was a good sign. We said that we were at the previous high, just needed to get above it. That's exactly what it did today. Barely a close above it. And, of course, Pierce got to the upper price consensus level, essentially where it stopped. Everything moving up in, well, everything. Everything is moving up with the exception of the RSI going sideways high. And we do have a tiny blip in the heat map for a topping area, but it's not too dark. It's not something to be worried about excessively at this moment. But new recent high, excellent. And that does bode well for the Dow tomorrow. So we do have some conflicting signals. Essentially, it's the dollar versus everything else. Very interesting. And the dollar secondary or uptick target met. We have to see what it wants to do next. And I wish it was a little more definitive than that, but it is what it is. Going on to JP Morgan, most important bank. What do we have today? New recent high, piercing the upper price consensus level. Good sign, fat body spinning top, a little bit of indecision. We do have a blip in the heat map for the start of a topping area, and for the most part, everything moving up, with the exception of the 14-day, the regular RSI going sideways high, but not a bad chart in the daily, not a bad chart at all. Would like to see a little bit more, maybe get a really nice blip in the heat map for a topping area, and then be concerned. And XLF, the financials as a whole, yeah, different than JP Morgan. Not a new recent high. It is a kind of a fat hanging man, but it's not the top of a range. Blip in the heat map for start of a topping area, and everything moving up except for the RSI, which is going sideways high. So it would appear that we could have some more to the upside, but I do think that time is against the bulls at this moment. It's very interesting this whole week. You know, advantage to the bulls, advantage to the bears, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I do think that the bulls have a little bit more advantage over the next day or two, but I do think that time is running out. Just my thoughts. Alright, and that's going to be it for tonight. As always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you very much.